Welcome back to Terror Takeover, your one stop shop for all things creepy, disgusting, and horrifying. I'm your host, Crow,
And I'm Zoe.
and we are just alone today. It's just the two of us.
Just the
Shar
two
has some
of
other
us.
thing. We can make it if we try. Char's got some other things going on, so she'll be back with us next week. Yeah. How are you doing, Zoe?
I'm doing pretty good. Besides, this is gonna sound so childish, but besides the vape ban, I have been struggling.
We can talk about. I don't know if it's like, is it a federal thing or is it Louisiana, or do you know?
Dude, I have no idea. I get all my facts from TikTok at this point.
A and TikTok was talking about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone's like,
Damn.
fucking, fuck. It's been getting out
Yeah.
of hand.
Well, then it's got to be like a federal thing, I guess, because like there's no way that your For You page is a bunch of Louisiana people. But if you don't know what we're talking about, they banned what was it, like flavored vapes, I think. But like I think you can still get the ones that like are tobacco flavored or unflavored or whatever.
Hmm.
You just can't get I guess like just like the fun fruity flavors or
Yeah,
something.
no, fuck all that. I need my watermelon scrumptious vape,
Watermelon
but
mojito
I
ice or
just
whatever.
I personally just saw it as a sign to stop. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I guess I think their whole like idea behind it was that it was like too many teenagers or something
Oh
like
yeah,
doing it because it was of the fun flavors or whatever, but
for sure. To
gee,
all the
yeah.
to all the youngins out there, it's not fucking worth it. It's really
Honestly,
not.
it's not. Honestly, it's
No.
not. I think the ban is kind of dumb, but at the same time, like, I personally don't vape, and I just don't think, well, I used to. I just do not think it's worth it just because.
Right.
Give me a second.
Mama, I'm doing something.
My lord. Okay, I'm so sorry. What
We
were we
should
talking
totally
about?
keep that in.
Bruh, I'm gonna keep some of it in. What the fuck? Sorry about that, gang.
Anyways, yeah, but no, the kids are they're gonna find a way to fucking get it, whether or not. So,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
anyways,
that's kind of how I feel, but I also feel like it's like it's a tough situation because at the
hmm
same time, like they have like MD 2020, which tastes like a really disgusting version of like blue raspberry or whatever. So
ugh,
like in a way, you could argue that that's like very similar, but
yeah.
it is what it is.
Right, you want to hop into the topic?
Yeah. Guys, today we're talking about our favorite fur babies in horror. So that's just pets in general. If we tried to cover, I was thinking like, should we just like add some like animal movies? But I was like, absolutely not, because then we'd be talking for like 5 hours. So we're
Oh yeah.
trying to stick primarily on just pets. What's your favorite pet in horror?
Oh shit.
Do you have a
It's
favorite?
my turn. I actually have two. So
I
Pet
feel like I already know
Cemetery.
what yours is going to be.
You
Okay,
know?
sorry, go ahead.
Okay, actually expect the unexpected.
Oh, okay.
Um, so my one of my favorites was Winston Churchill, aka Church from Pet
Mm-hmm.
Sematary. Dude, I just fucking loved that movie as a kid, especially
Oh, so good.
the little cat. He's just so fucking cute. But I mean, fuck, a once beloved cat turned menace. I mean, shit.
Right. And you can't help but still love him even though he's like
I
evil because
know,
he's
he's
like
so
just kind of funny.
cute.
I love the part where the dad is like in the bathtub and then the dead like the like bloody dead rat just gets dropped in the his
I
bathtub
know.
water and the
He's like,
cat is just
oh
like That's so sick and evil. I
no,
love
that
that.
was
Me as a
um
cat. He's just like me for real.
he's offering him something.
Yeah,
He's like,
it's super
here.
cute and evil. I will say, like, when I was a kid, the worst part of that movie that like made me feel so grossed out was
Mhm.
the part. This is like unrelated to the topic, but the part where the little boy like
Where he gets his
slashes the grandpa's,
yes.
or was it's not the grandpa, I think it's the neighbor's
Uh,
Achilles tendon. Oh my god, that's so
I
gross.
knew you were gonna say that. That part made me. Ugh, it still gives me shivers to this day.
Bro, I for like the longest time because of that scene, I would not just like step in my bed normally and like it was
I
like a thing
know.
where I would literally run and jump into my bed because I was so afraid of standing at the edge of my bed. And when I was a kid, I had like a bed skirt so you couldn't just like see under it.
Mhm.
So I was convinced that there was somebody under my bed at all times.
I know, cause dude, like once you get your fucking Achilles slash, you're fucked. Like you are
right?
fucked.
Like you can't heal that, right? Like how do you what do you even do about that?
I know, but
Ew.
fucking, I feel like church is like my favorite because like not just like his like unsettling resurrection, but like I feel like the psychological and emotional aspect like just puts an impact on the family and the film. I mean, fucking
Absolutely.
going from a playful fucking cat, an affectionate pet, now fucking an aura of a dark force, like total
Right.
menace.
Right. Which also should have been like the perfect indicator to them that, like, hey, there's something wrong with the creatures that are
Mm-hmm.
resurrected by the cemetery. Like, it's not like this is not the ideal situation, you know? But
Yes.
when it comes to grief, it's like, it's hard to say, like if you were in the same position, like, would you not do the same thing? Which I
Mm-hmm.
probably would, but it's still like, come on, bro. This just seemed like a bad idea from the start.
And fucking actually watched that film last night to kind of like revisit the whole thing and like touching on like a more spiritual level. I feel like church kind of becomes like a vessel for like exploring all sorts of themes of like, death, loss, and the macabre and fucking consequences of fucking with natural order, bruh. Don't
Period.
fuck with life and death.
Period. Some things are better just left like
Yes,
alone. Like there's some things you just
exactly.
cannot change. I love that movie. I think it's
Oh,
amazing. I
yes.
think that it's like also like the idea behind it is so poignant. Like you said, I
Hmm.
think that it's just like really cool moral of the story. Basically, you can't fuck around with life. Like you can't no there you cannot give life. You cannot give
Fuck
life
yeah.
and but you can take it away, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it's such a good movie. Hey, listeners, here's today's trivia question. In the movie Alien from 1979, what color is Jonesy the cat? A. White with black patches. B. Gray. C. Orange tabby. Or D. Calico. Stay tuned to hear the answer. What was your other one? You said you had a second
Oh
one?
shit, yeah. The fucking the the German Shepherd beast from The Hills Have Eyes 2006.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
Also 1977. He's named the same thing in both movies.
for real? Okay,
Mhm.
don't fucking hate me. I've never seen the original. Sorry, guys.
No, I mean no hate. Honestly, the remake was really good though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the soundtrack was killer. Total 2000s
Yeah.
fucking rock shit.
I love that
Um
movie. That movie scarred me as well. Like what the hell?
oh yeah, it was pretty fucking gory. If you're into like pure fucking cannibalism and gore, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the intro of Beast, he was once like a loyal pet, but now he fucking prowls for revenge because he got
Hell
his
yeah.
sister killed. I mean, fucking obviously, like fucking somebody
Yeah.
kills my sibling. I'm going for blood at that point.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's
it's
also
honestly
like
sad. It's super, super sad, but it's
it's
like you
so
do root for
sad.
him the whole time. Like I remember at the beginning, whenever whenever she ends up being basically destroyed by the mutants,
I know that
it's
was
super,
so
super sad.
sad.
I have issues with, and we've talked about this in the past. I have like
Hmm.
super bad issues with animal violence, like in
Oh
movies, even if it's
yes.
not real. Like I am just so, so sensitive, and that's why I cannot watch and we've talked about this cannibal holocaust. I can't do it because I
Oof.
cannot do animal violence, especially not like real animal violence. That is just so, so rough for me. So it definitely does tug at your heartstrings whenever Beauty dies. And but at the same time you're like totally rooting for Beast the whole time, and there's like a sick scene where he just absolutely wrecks two of the mutants, and you're like, hell
Hmm.
yeah, brother, he's the toughest, coolest dog ever, and you have to love him. And he's also one of the reasons why I want a German shepherd so bad. You know that whole thing,
Oh.
like scary dog privileges or whatever, being able to walk
Oh
alone at
yes.
night. That was like my whole
Yes.
thing. Like
I
I
want to
want to be able to,
fucking.
yeah.
You want to what? I'm sorry.
Well, I was
I have
I was
so much
just
energy tonight. I'm so sorry.
no, you're fine. I was just saying, like, I want to be able to feel like safe. And I feel like at that point, not that I would ever want to put like my pet in harm's way or whatever, like put him in a position in which like he's gonna have to fight or something like that.
Mhm.
But there's just certain things that you can't do as a small woman alone
Oh, yeah, for
without
sure.
having a big scary dog by your side.
Dude, get a fucking Doberman. That's what I want, dude.
I know they're so pretty, but my
Dude.
whole thing is like I cannot snip their ears. I can't do it.
Oh,
Well, in order, right? In order to get their ears to go up like that, don't you have to snip them?
I think so, but I feel like people just do that, unfortunately, just for like the aesthetic of it, which is
I
kind of like
know.
fucking horrible. But
I hate
they do look really
that.
hard that way. But at
They
the
look
same
so
time,
cool, but it's
I wonder what they look like
awful.
with their ears down. I haven't seen that.
They just look like a baby, like a little baby. Like
Oh,
they don't look as like threatening or whatever, which is like I guess mostly the point
God.
of how why people breed them is to look threatening. But they look super cute. I've seen videos of
For
them.
sure. What about
Yep.
your favorite pets in horror?
Okay.
Let's go.
So, I would have to say my favorite. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with one of my favorites, and then I'm gonna go with my all-time favorite next because I think it's like a little bit outside of the box. So my first favorite is definitely Cujo from Cujo.
Fuck yeah.
Obviously, I love that movie because I think that it's very different, especially for a Stephen King film.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, like Stephen King stuff is very like I would say like supernatural or it's like a slasher type of vibe. I think that what's so interesting about Cujo is it's not really like the dog isn't exactly possessed. He just has rabies. Like it's just a rabid dog,
Right.
but it's still so original and it's still so terrifying. Like the idea of it, like it really could happen to you. Um, in fact, Thorne was saying that's why he doesn't like the movie is because it's too realistic. Like he could
Oh
see that happening. I'm like, whatever, dude. I think it's
yeah.
so good. But basically, like, yeah, I mean, you know the movie. It's like the mom and the son get locked in the
Mm-hmm.
car and they can't get out because this giant ass dog that got bit by a bat has rabies and is like basically bloodthirsty and is trying to kill them. And you can't help but feel sorry for Cujo because it's not his fault.
I know.
I feel so bad for him because he's such a good boy. Like throughout the entire beginning of the movie, it's like, oh, this is such a good dog. He's just curious, chasing his little rabbit, and then this fucking bat has to ruin everything for him. I feel so bad for him.
I know. That was definitely that movie definitely scared the shit out of me as a child, and I think
Yeah.
that's why I sent you that fucking photo when we were coming back from Ren Fair, that big ass dog. And
I
I was
don't
like,
know if
that's
I
fucking
saw it.
Cujo, bruh.
I don't remember seeing it. Did I
Hmm.
respond to that?
Yeah, you said that's a big ass motherfucker.
Okay, wait, I'm pulling it up because that do sound like something I'd say, but I don't remember. Hold
Yeah.
up. I'm pulling it up right now. You texted it to me?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. This big boy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this boy's massive. And in the picture where he's looking at you, that's so scary actually. What the hell?
Dude.
It's like this big dog with like these bright eyes. He's beautiful, but like I would
I
never mess with somebody if they
know.
had that dog around them.
Fucking the actually know a little fun fact, like the inspiration behind Cujo was after like a personal encounter that
Oh,
Stephen
really?
King had with a Saint Bernard, and he like wondered to himself, what if the dog had been rabid?
Really?
And
I didn't
then he
know that.
just put two and two together and he's like, let's make a fucking movie.
He said, "Let's do this shit." That's sick. Yeah, love that movie. Definitely recommend for people. Like, I feel like Cujo's a good movie for people who aren't like super big fans of horror because, yeah, it is like a scary movie, but I think that it's a lot easier to stomach for people that can't
Hmm.
handle like a slasher or something with like demons or things like that. I think it's a really good entry level horror film
Oh
for
yeah,
people.
100%. I can agree with that.
Right. My other favorite pet in horror, I'm so excited to talk about this one, is of course, we already know that I'm an Argento fan. Inga the chimpanzee from Phenomena.
Oh.
She's like so random because she's not what you'd think of as like a furry friend in horror. But she's not like a dog or a cat. And I just think she's so sick because she's got like her own kind of like personality. And she's another one of those like pets in horror that's kind of like almost a little bit sentient. Like she knows a little too much. But
Hmm.
obviously she is a chimp. So there's like a little bit of intelligence there. There's also this like way sick fight scene involving her. Well, I'm not going to call it a fight because
Shit.
it's really just an attack of her at the end. Um, Yeah, where she just absolutely fucks somebody up with a straight razor. It's so sick, and it's like just so funny. Like this entire movie, if you haven't seen Phenomena, it's like got some parts of the movie that are almost like humorous. Like it's kind of weird because it's a super. There are super violent scenes, but there's like this air of like, haha, that was like a funny thing that happened. But it's really not. Like if you saw that in real life, you'd be absolutely
Oh
traumatized.
shit.
Yeah, I just love it. I absolutely love it. And that also reminds me of I forgot to add this to like my little list of talking points, but did you ever see that movie Monkey See?
Monkey
I think
see.
it was called Monkey See, but it was like
Let's pull
I'm
it
pretty
up.
sure it was an 80s movie and it was like this guy, wait, Monkey See. I think that's what it was called.
Monkey
I'm looking
see.
it up.
Monkey see, monkey do.
No,
Monkey
what
see
was
no
it?
evil.
Monkey Shines, Monkey Shines. That's what it
Okay.
was. Oh my gosh.
Let's
Okay,
see.
this movie was so crazy. That's another, not that chimps are
Oh,
monkeys, but that movie was so weird.
19.
It was about this guy. I think he was like an army vet or something, and
Mhm.
he's like in a wheelchair, and he gets like this little monkey companion, and the monkey just goes absolutely feral. That movie is actually way better than I thought it would be, but it is like super campy.
Damn. Do you think people do you think people get ideas and make movies like that because of actual reality shit that has happened with monkeys, chimpanzees, etc., etc.?
I would say that I wouldn't be surprised. Like maybe
Right.
they've seen something that was similar in the news and they were like,
Mhm.
well, let's just like blow that out of proportion and make a movie
Right.
out of it.
Right.
That's so ridiculous. Some of these are just absolutely like crazy. I think that's it as
Mm.
far as like monkey. I can't imagine like other like
Monkey.
primate or ape type of like horror movies, but there's so many with dogs. One of my other favorites is Dawn of the Dead 2004. Chips, the people are saying he might be a border collie. I tried looking it up, but there's this one scene in which Chips has to deliver food to like one of their friends across the street. So,
Mhm.
okay, I'm like totally just jumping into this, but basically in Dawn of the Dead, they're all stuck in a mall trying to avoid zombies, and they make
Mhm.
friends with this guy across the street who's at the gun store called Andy, and he has like a bunch of guns, but he doesn't have food. So they try to send a dog with some food across the street to get to him because they don't think the zombies are going to go after him, and it's the most like stressful scene because you're so worried for the dog because he's so cute. Um,
Oh.
and everything is actually going well, and there's one character that ends up being a dumbass and like fucking everything up, and everybody has to go in after her to try to save her. But anyway, Chips is another one of my favorites. Love Dawn of the Dead. It's one of my favorite early 2000s movies, and it's one of my favorite zombie movies just because it's so dated in my opinion.
Mm.
We also have, and this is what I thought was going to be your favorite. So I'm shocked you didn't say it, but you're probably going to be like, oh my God,
Is it
Nanook the
Precious? Oh
Husky.
no,
No,
Nanook.
Precious was the other one, but Nanook from Lost Boys. So if you haven't like heard our other episodes, Lost Boys is one of Zoe's favorite movies. So, which is why I
Yeah.
thought this would be your favorite.
Okay, I didn't pick that one because I knew it was gonna be expected, and I was like, you know
Oh my
what? Let me pick
gosh.
something different.
Okay, good for you. I'm proud of you for that. Oh my God. Yeah, well, there's that Way 16 in which Michael's like going after Sam in the bathtub and Nanook just like
Mhm.
fucks him up. I love that. Also, for whatever reason, I noticed a lot of the like dogs in horror movies are huskies for some reason. Have you noticed
Yeah.
that?
Mm, not me personally, no. I've noticed like just very smaller animals.
Right, that's true.
But
Well, I
but
think
I see
that
the vision. Yeah.
yeah, I think that for whatever reason, a lot of the time they want a dog that like maybe it's because they look like wolves or a little bit more like
Mm.
um I guess like feral kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that's
Right.
just it because you can't really have like a little chihuahua like freaking out and like attacking a killer or something. I mean, you could honestly. I
Yeah.
was watching this video the other day that was like, did you ever see that video where they like tested to see which dogs would like protect their owners in the
Oh,
event of
yes.
like
I love
an
watching
invasion?
those.
Those videos are
I
so
love
funny.
watching those.
Oh
And
my
some
gosh.
of the
So
dogs are just like babies. They're like, "Ugh," and you're like, you fucking failed.
right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my
So
god.
what basically if you haven't seen that video, it'll be like this guy dressed up as like an intruder with a ski mask and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and he'll come in and stage like a break-in to see if the dogs would like protect their owners in the event of like an attacker. And so they did it with like well, I don't know if there was a yeah, I think there were some German shepherds, there was like labs, like a bunch of big dogs that you would expect to be like really protective of their owners. And
Mhm.
whenever the guy came in and like pretended to attack the owner, the dogs just like ran away and
I
tucked
know.
tail. And then they ended up testing it against this person that had like, it was a chihuahua and like this little like scrappy like shih tzu or something. And they were the only ones that protected their owners, and they were so tiny and
I
old. It was so
know.
cute.
I couldn't tell who was more terrified, the human or the dog.
Right. I would be scared if I was a human. I'm scared of the I am terrified of little yappy dogs because you never know
Yes, the
if
little
they're gonna
ankle
attack
biters.
you. Yeah, little ankle biter, little yappers, dude. Little yappers.
Dude, could you fucking imagine, like, taking it's going back to, Nanook, could you imagine just taking a fucking bubble bath, having the time of your life,
Hell
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden, your dog is just fucking going crazy?
I would be so scared, honestly. Like, I know
Yeah.
that's like the whole point, or not the entire point, but that's like one of the points of having like a big, strong dog is to protect you and stuff. But at the same time, I would be shitting myself if I saw my dog attacking something.
I know.
Just because it's like, oh no, like I'd be scared that he'd get hurt, or I'd be
Right.
scared that, like, in the event of like someone getting bit, like him having to be like, the idea of a pet having to get put down is so like primitive to me. I think that's so sad.
For
But just stuff
sure.
like that, like that's what I would be afraid of. That's the only reason why I'd be scared to get a big dog.
Mhm.
I also want to mention The Thing 1982, the like dog transformation scene in that movie is so fucking gross.
Ooh.
If you haven't seen The Thing, there is a scene in which basically the thing takes the form of like a sled dog, and there's a scene in which he like transforms back, and it's so ugh, it's so disgusting.
Mm.
Basically the dog's face just like opens up and like you see all the inside and everything, and then he has these like weird little like tentacle things come out of its back and just start like going crazy and looking absolutely disgusting. And it's so, so gross. I would say even especially for the time, 1982, like the effects are really, really good.
Oh, yeah, for
And
sure.
definitely if you've ever played the Resident Evil games, especially Resident Evil 4, I would say that there is absolutely no way that the dogs in Resident Evil 4 weren't inspired by Kennel Thing, because they basically have the same transformation other than their faces like opening up. It's
Mhm.
so, so gross. Oh, and then you mentioned
Oh,
Precious from Silence of the Lambs. We gotta talk about
precious.
Precious. Precious, I feel like is like one of the first like furry friends you think of when you think of a horror movie. And I know
I
that
know.
not everybody would consider, in my opinion, like what do you call it? Silence of the Lambs to be a horror movie, but I
Mhm.
do. Like, I think it's a horror movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the shit excuse me, the shit that fucking just goes on in there, I mean, it's absolute fucking horror. I mean, not only is it
Yeah,
psychological, of course, but
right.
besides all of that, I mean, you know, showing us the dangers of reality and getting fucking kidnapped and
Yeah.
it I would consider it a horror movie, yeah.
I think that a lot of people have this idea that like if it's a true crime thing, like it's
Mhm.
got to be a thriller or something like that. Or not true
Mm,
crime, sorry, because it's not true. But if it's like what do you call it? Like like a mystery, like detective crime thing, people just like do not want to call that horror. But I'm like, no way. Like that's definitely like, I mean, he's like taking people's skin off.
right. I mean,
Like that's horrific. That's a horror thing. Like that's so messed up and evil.
and literally, like, the definition of horror is provoking an emotional, psychological, or physical response. So,
Right.
literally, it falls in within that realm.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, I would say
Mhm.
that. Yeah. But there's, of course, the scene. If you don't know who Precious is, it's Buffalo Bill's
Mm.
dog, Buffalo Bill the Killer. And it's just like this little like yappy Bichon Frise. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. Bichon, I guess it's like
Mm.
French, right? But anyway,
Mhm.
and the dog is also what Catherine, who's been like, it's like the political representative's like daughter that's been kidnapped.
Mhm.
She actually lures the dog into the hole to try to use it as leverage to get a phone from Buffalo Bill, and that's kind of like the climax of the movie when everything just starts
Right.
going sideways.
Right, that's when he gets vulnerable as fuck.
Right. And I always felt bad for Precious because she's like, he's really hurt, mister. I think he broke his leg on the way down. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I know that you're like kidnapped and shit, but damn, bitch.
I
That should
know.
hurt my feelings.
Love that little dog.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually even like the dog. It was kind of an asshole. He was kind of an
He
asshole
was
and he was a
just so
yapper. But you
cute.
still don't want him to hurt himself. He's just like a little
No.
guy.
Yeah, little man.
Yup. We also have Jonesy the cat from Alien 1979. Oh my god,
Your
I'm literally reading
favorite?
it, but I cannot say it. Yes, great movie. I love like any sci-fi blend with horror as well. And then I also wanted to say that I too would have a cat on a spaceship. Like, I'm shocked that in all these like movies, just sci-fi movies, people are just on the spaceships alone. I'm like, get a bird or some shit, dude. Like, of course you're gonna go crazy being alone. But also, I think in Star Trek Next Generation, I think that there's like, isn't there a I think there's an episode in which Data also gets a cat. I'm like, yes, we need more cats in sci-fi. It only makes sense to me.
I feel like it does make sense.
Yeah, would you not? If you were on a like a spaceship, what pet would you have?
Ooh, a cat.
A cat, right? I feel like because they're just so independent, like you don't have
Mhm.
to
For
constantly be worried
sure.
about them. Like I feel like a dog would just shit everywhere. But I love dogs, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you had Goober
I
all weekend.
did. I did. So Zozo and the crew actually went to Ren Fair this weekend, which I was so sad to miss out because we go every year. And I haven't missed a year in years, basically, other than COVID because they just didn't have it. But I ended up having my little CD release show like the same weekend, so I wasn't able to go. But on the bright side, I got to watch y'all's dog, Goober, and he's the best boy, and I love
Oh,
him so much.
he is such a sweet boy. Oh, do you feel like Jones the cat from Alien helped with like the crew's survival? I feel like he was a big part in the survival.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say, sure. Why not? Hell yeah.
I don't know. I feel like cats are very, very intelligent for sure.
Yeah, definitely. No, cats, that's why they say cats like if you are like scared of your house being haunted or whatever, they say like
Hmm.
get a cat in that motherfucker because they will sniff out a ghost. Like
Oh
cats have
yeah.
some, I believe it. Cats have like some like sixth sense almost of like paranormal.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, have you had a cat?
I don't think so. No,
Really? So
I've
I
never
will.
really had any kind of pet, to be honest, besides Goober.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
No.
I've like always had pets growing up. So when we were kids, our parents always
Hmm.
had like would get us like dogs and cats and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, and eventually as I got older, I ended up like being a rat mom. But cats like they will do the craziest thing where you're just chilling and they'll just like start looking in the corner of the room and their eyes will get all wide and it's like, can you literally stop? Like what is going on?
It
And
is
honestly,
scary.
they may even just see like a bug or something in the corner, but it's still really upsetting. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say like if you're like the best watchdog is a cat. Oh, but I also want to mention like Jonesy also has a cameo. So they had a Dead by Daylight chapter in which like they added Xenomorph as a killer and you
Hmm.
could play as Ripley.
Oh
And
shit.
Jonesy has a cameo. Like there's parts where you open lockers and he'll like hop out and stuff. It's super, super
Oh,
cute. And I love that they did that. Like I would be so bummed honestly if they didn't.
dude, I fucking love that.
I do too. Hey, listeners, we're back with the answer to today's trivia question. If you said C, orange tabby, you're correct. We have to talk about Gizmo from Gremlins because I think that he counts as a furry
Oh,
friend,
yeah.
right?
I knew you were gonna talk about this one. I knew you were.
Yeah, well, he was in some of those articles that I sent you, which I probably wouldn't have thought of it if it wasn't for those articles, but he's absolutely a furry friend. I would think that he's not like really a pet in the sense of like being like
Hmm.
he's baby and needs to be cared for or whatever, but like he's like a little sentient. But at the same time, he still absolutely counts as a furry friend. And he's definitely one of my favorites because I just think he's so cute.
Yeah, he's so fucking adorable.
Yeah. And like talking about as protecting like your family and shit. Like Gizmo's the
Mhm.
best. Like he's definitely like scary dog energy. Just because there's like the one scene in particular in which I can't remember what is his name? Rex, the like bad gremlin or the bad Mogwai. Well, he's like trying to attack them in like the hardware store, and Gizmo is like totally like holding his own, like helping to protect like his owners and shit like that, or not owners, but his like friends. I think that that part is like way sick.
I haven't seen fucking Gremlins. I mean, I've watched it not too long ago. I remember scenes like very faintly, but I definitely need to like dig into that one again.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you've seen it.
Yeah, well, the only there's a few scenes playing in my head right now, but the one scene that's playing is whenever all the little gremlins are just going fucking AWOL and
Just
they're
losing
tearing
it.
shit up.
Wait, when
They're
they're in the
going
bar.
yes.
I love that part. It's so funny.
That part is so fucking funny.
Bro, us anytime we step out on the
I know.
town.
3 shots of tequila and that's us.
Oop. 3 shots of tequila and a high noon later. Bro. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that movie. Actually, like we're probably gonna have to have an episode about this, but
Mhm.
I have like a list of like horror movies that I always watch around Christmas, and
Oh,
Gremlins is one for me because it's like a Christmas movie. I mean, I would call Gremlins a Christmas movie because
that's
the
so
dad
funny.
gets Gizmo like for the family as a Christmas present.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I
And it's
think
around
that's so
fucking
sick.
Christmas time. I need to
It
you know what? You
is.
just gave me an idea because at work, I always like whenever when I work behind the bar, I always put on like Christmas movies
Yeah,
on the
Gremlins
back.
is totally a Christmas movie.
Yes, and I'm not playing no cheesy fucking Hallmark Christmas movies, dude.
Hell
I'm playing
no.
like Home
Die Hard.
Alone, shit
Yeah.
like that. And Gremlins, it's on the list now, so I'm gonna play that tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, we were like, oh my god, I'm so getting off topic here, but
I know.
Child's Play is 100% a Christmas movie as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Cuz she gets like the good guy doll for her son, like
Mhm.
for it's like his Christmas present from some back alley seller, but yeah, like absolutely a Christmas movie, but yeah, we're going to have to talk about that like eventually like later. Let me see. I think we covered everything on my list. Oh my gosh, is there any like pet and horror that you can think of that I haven't covered? Oh, did you did you watch the new Pet Cemetery or no?
Yes, I have,
You
and I
did?
have lots to say about it.
Oh my gosh, tell me what you think.
Okay, so I really dig it. I think they did a phenomenal job, despite the fact the only thing I did not like was they switched out the roles. Like instead of uh Gage dying, it's the daughter. I don't know. I just felt like
What?
do you remember or
Yeah, but
yeah,
I didn't watch the new one. That's why I'm asking what you
right.
think.
Instead of like, oh shit, am I telling you about it?
No, yeah, absolutely tell me about it. That's fine.
Okay,
I feel like
no,
with a remake, you can't really like spoil a remake.
I know. The original, we all know Gage unfortunately gets hit by the fucking big semi truck, but in the new
Right.
one, the modern one, the roles are switched out. It's the little girl that gets hit instead, and I don't know. I felt maybe I'm just being picky, but I felt like they should have just stuck with it.
I feel like always with these remakes, like they feel the need to do something different. Like we're gonna make it our own, but a lot of the time
Right.
it's just like why? Like if you're remaking a
Mhm.
movie, like why do you need to make it your own? Like it's a remake. I don't know. I mean, maybe people will disagree with me on that, but
Mhm. For
okay, I
sure.
say that, but at the same time, I'm so ranting today. But Evil Dead, like the remake, I
It kicked ass.
okay, so I know that the subsequent like new Evil Deads like are just their own thing. But
Right.
the first remake that they did was
Mhm.
definitely like basically the first Evil Dead movie, like the old
Right.
one.
Right.
But they made it their own, and I think that they did do a good job with that one, admittedly.
Right.
But other than that movie, I just don't understand the point of like trying to like change a remake. Like to me, that almost feels like strange. Like why? Like I feel like if you're gonna
Yeah.
pay homage to somebody, pay homage to them, you know. But
I know
anyway, soapbox.
it's almost like fucking blasphemy at that point. I mean,
Right.
like I used to go by the line and scream whenever Neve Campbell says don't fuck with the remake.
Yeah, or with
Like
the original, yeah.
I
Or
used to go by that line so much and I still go by it like they made we're so off topic right now, but that's fine.
yeah, that's okay.
Like the new Craft remake. I'm sorry if you guys like it. That's awesome. Your cup of tea. It's not my
Oh my
vibe. I felt
god,
like
I
it
didn't
was
even
not
watch it.
necessary. It was
Dude, I
not
didn't even watch it.
necessary.
I didn't even know it was out yet. You saw it already?
Yeah.
What the hell?
This
I'm gonna
wasn't
have to watch it just because
necessary.
I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Just watch
Oh,
it.
and then no. Okay, wait. Actually, let me chill out because we so need to do an
No.
episode on remakes. I'm about to jump right into another one. Let me
Okay.
chill out. I'm doing too
This
much.
episode is just us shit talking right
Just
now.
shit talking remakes. Yeah. I mean, my God. Yeah. We just are doing our best, doing the best that we can. Alrighty, guys. I know that today was kind of a short episode, but bear with us. We had kind of a crazy weekend, so we're kind of diving back into it in a way, and we didn't want to take another week off, so this one just happened to be a little bit shorter than the rest. Hopefully, you guys don't mind. Maybe it'll just be like a quick lunch break listen.
Anyways, pertaining to the topic in this episode, everyone remember that in the world of horror, no sanctuary is sacred, not even the bond between man and his faithful companion.
Real, so
She's
true.
spitting.
Hey, she kind of
She's
spitting though.
spitting. Okay.
Guys, let us know what your favorite pet in horror is. Did we talk about it? Did we not? Let us know. We love hearing your opinions. And I just want to say that you guys have been really like giving a lot of your input and telling us what you think about our episodes. And it's meant the world to us. It also really, really helps us as well to know what to talk about in future episodes. I think Zoe would agree, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like all of you guys being like very interactive is very, very helpful, especially on the gram. Just letting us know like what your favorite horror movies are and like your opinions on things. It definitely gives us a lot of insight on future recordings. So thank you for that so much.
Right. And we kind of have a tendency to like stay in our bubble. Like we know what we
Mm-hmm.
like, and I know what you like. I know what
I
your favorite
know.
movies are. You know what I like, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we have a tendency to like want to stick to that. So it's nice to be shaken up a little bit.
Oh
It's nice for
yeah.
people to tell us, I don't like that movie you talked about, or I do like it. I think that it makes such a huge difference. So thank you guys.
Right, for
Please
sure.
continue to give your feedback. We definitely take it into consideration. I promise.
Until next time, keep your lights on and your furry friends close. Is there a story, film, or topic you want us to discuss in an upcoming episode? Email your suggestions to terrortakeoverpod@gmail.com. Intro music by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio.